So this is our first kind of like a podcast, video cast, however you want to talk about it. And what I want to do is I want to outline and show to everybody what Moslah Shrine does on a daily basis, and what each of our positions mean, what what each unit does. And what I want to do is I want to focus on aspects of the shrine that a lot of people may not know about. And so on this channel, which I don't think I have a channel, but we'll call it what it is. But with that being said, we are going to start this interview. I wouldn't call it an interview. What would you call it? A
conversation.
A conversation. Okay. A conversation with Moslah Shrine's business manager, Michael Hanley. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us today, and our audience, however may that be. It may be 2 people, maybe 20 people. I don't know. But I think it's important for us to know what kind of awesome things you do for the shrine. So thank you for being here, Michael. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, there's a lot of questions and a lot of, I guess, misunderstandings between a lot of people and what the business manager does. So before we start, I want to kind of go into a little bit about you. And I understand you're a Mason along with a Shriner. And how long have you been a Shriner?
Well, I've been a Shriner. This is my 31st year.
Oh, wow.
I've been a Mason for 33 years.
Okay. And why did you become a Shriner? Like, everyone's got to have a why. So what got you into being a Shriner?
Absolutely. And my why was my dad. My dad was a Mason. He got his master's degree in Pampa, Texas, when we lived up in the Texas Panhandle.
Okay.
And I didn't know much about it. Just know he became a Mason. He was he'd go to the lodge. I understood that part of it. Then we moved to Amarillo, and that's when he joined Kiva Shrine, and he was in their Shrine Oriental Band, and he was one of the founding members. And he was a participant. He actively competed against Moslah for about 43 years, and they were the 2A bands, and they had such a good time. And as Melissa and I, when we first got married, we'd go to the TSAs just to say hey and watch. And then finally I called Dad and I said, well, how do I do this? And so that's how it all started. And then I went to Arlington Lodge 438, did my work. Took a little while. I was a full-time restaurant manager and trying to do memory work, so it was a challenge, I'm not going to lie, but got it done. And then searched for a unit at the shrine, and went and visited several, which I think everybody should do personally. Just a little point there, but and settled on not the Oriental Band or the better ones, but the Mystic Wheels, which is go-karts, and it kind of fit me and my personality and the family.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And so let's dive a little bit more into your dad. So your dad was at Kiva, and so you were kind of introduced to being a Shriner when you were young. I mean, you kind of started kind of young, and it was a family thing, right? A family affair?
Actually, no. The Masonry was younger. I was in I think 6th grade, 5th, 7th grade, but we moved to about when I was 15. We moved to Amarillo, and that's when he became a Shriner. And I didn't know much about it because I was going to school and didn't do a lot with it. I just knew he was having a blast. And then when I was in my, I'd say mid 30s, early 30s, I'd say early 30s, late 20s. That's when we started going to all the things with Mom, Dad. We go to TSA and go with all the competitions, and that's when I saw what the fraternity offered. It was fun, and then we knew about the Children's Hospital and what they do, and so you put the two together, and it really fit not only me but the family, because Mom, Dad's, they're the Kiva, they were very family friendly. They were open, so I never felt out of place, even though even after I joined Moslah, Kiva always made me feel at home. And I'd like to think that we've always done that for our fellow Shriners in the state and the country. It's the brotherhood and the fraternity and the common goal of the philanthropy that we do with the children.
Absolutely. And we do a lot. I know from the business manager side, you're an integral part of everything we do, whether it be raising money or contributing to our hospitals, whatever the case is. Well, thank you for sharing that. So I'm going to kind of piggyback on what you were talking about earlier about what you were getting from Masonry. So, to our new members that are coming into the Shrine, what are some, I guess, tips and tricks you could offer? You have a lot of people that come to the Shrine and their expectations are just totally they're all over the board. But how, what would you say to a young noble who's, hey, I want to come into the Shrine? What are a couple things you could offer to enhance their time at the Shrine?
Okay, I want that. That's a really good question, and I think one of the biggest, I guess, draws is what makes me feel good about the fraternity is the helping of the children. The Children's Hospital, our philanthropy, that right there kind of sets the commonality, I think, to where we're all focused on. Number one is the kids, and a close second is having fun. But having fun it's a little bit different because there's so many different options when you go into the Shrine. I think for a young noble, the biggest would be keep an open mind, visit all the units, and see what fits you and your family the best. Where do you fit in? Because no matter what unit you choose, they want you. All of them want you, and you're going to fit in, but you need to fit the whatever they offer with what you're looking for. So, but sometimes people kind of jump on the first thing they see, and then later on they said, "Oh, that looks more fun over there." So that's why when you come through the Shrine and you're new, it's important to go visit everybody. Open your mind and open and your eyes to a lot more than just And I know there's a lot of us that my dad was really pushing me for the Oriental Band, and it didn't really fit me when I went in, but I found something that did because I kept searching. I visited 4 units before I chose one, and then it was a good fit. But I think the young nobles, the best thing they can do is understand our philanthropy so that you and your family are feel good about what you're going to be doing, because you're going to be using time, and they're going to use a lot of your time and some of their time, all of it to have fun or to do good. So check everything out. Just check it all out. If you want to get the most from it, then check it all out and find the one that fits you best.
That's actually good advice. So let me ask you this. Let's say we have a new noble, and we've been doing a lot of discussions about units. Now, I don't know what a unit is. I don't know what that. So can you explain to me, like, what is a unit? I mean, like, when somebody comes in, they join the Shrine.
Right. Okay.
But I'm a full-fledged Shriner now, right? I don't have to do anything else, or do I have to do something else? What's important?
Okay. That I never thought of it that way. That is a fair way to think of it. It's like, well, what is a unit? Because we have units and we have clubs. The units are established. I'll give examples of units. Sometimes it's easier to hear what an example is. There's the Corvettes, which are the little yellow Corvette-looking go-karts, and then we have the Mystic Wheels, which is a little black go-kart that's faster. And then we've got the motorcycles. That's Motor Corps. And
Right.
Then we have the new patrol unit, which is the trikes, the power trikes that can.
They are pretty cool.
Yeah,
they are pretty cool.
Drifting trikes. That's it.
Drifting. That's right.
Drifting.
That's right.
Then we have band. So and what else is there? Bedouins, which is the Oriental Band. So those are all units, and a unit within the Shrine is they have a common um, I guess, theme. In other words, the Bedouins, they're coming in to play instruments and be an Oriental band, where you pick the motorized unit and you pick which vehicle you want to, which draws you the most. Is it the trike? Is it a go kart? Is it a little Corvette? And so that's kind of examples of what's going on. So you look at those, and then clubs are a little less strict and stringent, like I hate to use the word strict, but there's more rules to being in a unit than there are to being in a club. Clubs, there's whether it's a Shrine Club, Eagle Mountain Lake, Mansfield Shrine Club, they get together, they go to dinner, and they help with projects, whether it be raising funds on the street corners, things like that. So everybody does, but the Shrine Club does. Clubs don't have as much responsibility, and the units are really what supports everything in the shrine. Like the directors will build the props and help staff the shrine circus when we're working the circus, and and then other units will maybe sell rides at the circus. So during the fundraisers, whether it be fraternal or the charitable, the units step up and take on actual duties for certain responsibilities in each of those events that we do. So that hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, it does. So would it be safe to say that if I join the shrine, I really need to look at something within the shrine, not just join the shrine and then just come to meetings?
Oh,
but go do something else, like get a part. So I think I would, from what I'm hearing from you, you're not really a full Shriner until you find a home within the shrine. Is that fair?
I think that's a really good way to put it.
Okay.
The only way to get everything, to get more out of the shrine, you got to put more of you in the shrine. And by putting more of you, I mean joining a unit, joining a club. You've got to get the most out. You got to put yourself in, and that's probably the easiest way I can put it. You can just be a member,
right?
But you're not gonna get the benefits of the camaraderie and the just doing things fun as a group. They call it fraternal. It's like a little fraternity of like-minded individuals that have a common goal. And one of our goals is to have fun, and you can't, to have fun, you got to you got to get involved. You can sit and watch on the sideline, or you can get in the game. So I would say get in the game to get the most out of it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So let me dive into, because I know our viewers want to know, and I know I want to know, but what is a business manager? Like what? I mean, does every temple have a business manager? Is it what are some of the things that you do besides what I've seen where you run the whole shrine? But I mean, what I know you have a team member that works with you in the office. I know she's great, but can you kind of tell us like a little bit about your job? Let us into your world of what you do, in your job.
Well, since we're on a limited time, I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit and give you the highlights.
Okay.
As far as a business manager, not all shrines have business managers. Moslah is a larger shrine. There is a lot going on, and it's beneficial to have someone that's in the office full time that can answer the calls, deal with Shriners International, help set up travel and things for divans, and work on whether it be the circus and ticket sales or the Sportsman Spectacular we have. There's a lot of things that myself and Stacy Martin, my admin, that we do together to support, whether it be the Oriental Guide or the Potentate or one of the other divan positions. They all have responsibilities, and we're there to serve them, to help them get what they need done. In other words, whether it be advertising or making artwork, flyers, getting things on Facebook, and then also I do the financial responsibilities is watching over the funds, making sure people stay within budgets, uh, help establish protocols for how we're spending the money and making sure we're being frugal with the Noble's money. We don't want to waste things. We want to get the most bang for our buck. And then one of the most important jobs I have is I schedule all the patient transportation for patients in the area to go to the Shrine Hospital in Galveston. Sometimes I have to schedule flights and hotels if they have to go to Boston for special care at one of the children's hospitals up there. So there's, that's a real big part of my job, and I work real closely with the Flying Fez. The Flying Fez does a great job transporting the patients and working with them, and that brings a lot of joy when you see how it is. I've made trips with patients before, and it's amazing to see how they respond to our drivers and the whole hospital process. So it all kind of flows together, whether it's the money, the projects, the everything that's going on, whether it's the circus or our next fraternal or hospital fundraiser. We work with the Divan to make sure they have what they need to succeed, and that the shrine itself, Moslah, succeeds in all aspects of what we're doing and trying to achieve.
Excellent. That sounds like a lot. I'm surprised you're still here. That's just a lot. I mean, so I'm assuming that involves a lot of long hours sometimes, depending on.
More than I thought. It was like, I thought it was gonna be a cakewalk. It was like, it's just like anything else. Just like the you have to give to get out of it. It's like, so.
Right.
Do I give a lot of time? Yeah, but do I like it? Yeah, I'm with a bunch of people that that I admire and like to work with, and it's just fun. And so a lot of times it's not really work. It's just getting that next task done so that you can help somebody succeed. So if you're helping people, and that's kind of what I think the business manager in the office does, we're helping Shrine leadership and Shrine nobles with whatever they need so that we can all succeed.
So let's kind of rewind for a second there. You said this term, Divan. Is that like a van with four wheels, or like so? Explain to our viewers what is a Divan, because I've heard that term used very commonly around the Shrine, and I know when I first started as a noble, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what a Divan was. I thought it was some van that we transported children in. But I mean, can you tell me like what that is?
Okay. Well, just so that you and I are both not going to get in trouble, technically it is the divan, because the divan is what you sit on, and the divan is what leads the shrine.
Okay. All right.
As I've been instructed.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay.
But the divan is the elected leadership of the shrine. There are 5 positions, and then 2, I believe it's called appointed. We have a recorder, a treasurer, then we have the Oriental guide. That's the first station for a person that is accepted the challenge of coming on the divan and going through all the positions. And each position is 1 year, and you move up each year, and each position has different responsibilities. But there's the Oriental guide. He's the new guy. There's the high priest and prophet. He's stepping up. So Oriental guide has he's just trying to learn what's going on. He has some a couple of functions during the year that he's over, and he really is working with everyone, and especially the excuse me for a minute. Potentate.
So they kind of have
hierarchy.
A hierarchy, just like any organization.
Yes.
And I guess the potentate would be like the president, kind of like CEO, president of. Okay.
They're also kind of known as the board. I mean, it's like they are the board. They kind of, so I work with them to make sure they have everything they need. But that's why they are the leadership of the temple, and each year there's a new person added as one goes out.
Okay. Okay. So, how many members right now does Moslah Shrine have? Like, do
Currently,
they?
we have over 1,000 members right
Oh,
now.
wow, 1,000.
Yeah.
And so 1,000. What would you say is our biggest threat? Like, what is, if you look 3 years down the line, when we talk about membership and we talk about, you know, we're having a decline in membership, and and everybody has ideas. I mean, this will work, maybe this will. Let's try this. But I mean, what do you think our biggest threat is right now in the world of masonry?
Well, I'm going to say technically it's a dual threat. We've got
Okay.
one that we can't do anything about, and we got one that we can. The biggest threat we have right now over the next 5 to 7 years is we have an elderly membership, and we about a large percentage of our membership is over the age of 65, and so that's a challenge. So not only do we have to bring in and excite new members, which is a real challenge for the membership chairman, because we're trying to get people to see what we are and look at ways to show them what we offer. But it is a challenge with the youth today. Anybody that's over the age of 21, it's like, there's different priorities. And so as the world changes, Moslah is looking for, and I think you'll agree, we're looking for ways to change with it, but still keep the core foundation of what a Shriner is and what we offer and what we do. And I think that's a real big challenge is attracting people under the age of 55. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
we're trying to compete with more time and more technology now. And I think, this right here is a good start to show that, we are current, and I like it a lot.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is our first go at it, so it's gonna be real rough. I'm just saying, but we got to start somewhere. So let's talk about, okay, we talked about becoming a mason. I've got to become an inner apprentice, fellow craft, master mason. So I go through my steps, and then I can go to one of the appended bodies, Scottish Rite, wherever, and I come and become a Shriner. Now, if I'm already in a Blue Lodge, which is in a lodge, anywhere in the state of Texas, that's recognized by the Grand Lodge of Texas, and I just finished my Master Mason, I finished all my work, I did everything. How do I make that jump? Like, I'm gonna do it. I want to be a Shriner.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah, and I know you can go to beashrinernow.com, online, and they can go in there, type their information in. We'll get it, and we'll welcome them. But is that the only way? Can somebody come to you and say, "Can I have a petition?" Can somebody?
Absolutely.
I mean, what are the different ways that
Okay,
that's not,
like you said, one of the first ways, is if they're on their own and saying, "Hey, I got my master, I think I'm going to check on Shrine." They could go to beashrinernow.com, and it will walk them through everything, and we will get the information, and we will reach out and get the process started. Another way is for you to, if you know a Shriner, say, "Hey, I'd like to be a Shriner," and they'll get a petition. They'll fill it out. We'll get people to, you'll have to give them a copy of your Master Mason card and fill out the petition, submit it. And at that point, the office, which is the business manager, will take that, put it into the system, confirm that everything's right. And there is one prerequisite, and that means you have to be a resident of the area that Moslah is in if you want to be a Moslah Shriner for 6 months. So if you've lived in Oklahoma and you just moved here, you'll have to wait 6 months before we can get you in. That is
Okay.
one. So the two prerequisites is your residential requirement, 6 months in the Temple of Choices area, and a Master Mason in good standing. Those two things will get you where you need it. But the easiest, and either way is easy. It works well. You're going to get. Now it may get a lot, more excitement if you know a Shriner and you ask him. Trust me, he's going to be pretty darn excited pretty fast. So it, we're gonna jump on it at the office too. But you'll get a lot of attention if you know a Shriner, or if you want to come by the offices and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about being a Shriner." We're going to take care of you. We're going to answer your questions and make sure that you know what you're getting into and how it is.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. At least now people know how they can make that step if they choose to. So let's go back to what we were talking about when it comes to like events. I'll use that example. I know we have the Easter egg hunt coming up, and that's open to anybody, regardless if you're a Mason or not. So I know there was one question when I was at my Blue Lodge that I was always asked. They would walk in and they would sit there, look around, and I would welcome them, and they would say, "Wow, I just want to know more about this secret society." And I would sit there and I would go, "Well, we're not that very secret. You found us. You're in the building. If we were secret, we wouldn't put anything on the building, right?" So, like with the shrine, I know it's different than the Blue Lodge. The Blue Lodge, we're all familiar with how that works. But like on the shrine, would you say it's different because, now, and I'm not going to say different in a bad way or different in a good way. What I mean, our events are different, aren't they? Like we have the Galveston trip coming up. We're going to Galveston and we're going to be in a parade that's got thousands of people. I mean, it's a lot of people. Or we go, you have your unit events. Are there other events that we do in the shrine that can I bring my family? If I'm a new member, can I bring my family, or is it just for the husband only, or does the wife have to stay home? Can you explain that to me?
That's a good question, because I think traditionally people thought, whether it's shrine or masonry or whatever, that's the guy's organization, and it's not really it's not like that at all. For the shrine, we do have events. There are events that are family friendly. We have our stated meetings, some of which are husband and wife, or it could be, or it's just the guys for the one meeting a month, so for a couple hours. But if we're doing I don't know, family night, watching movies, playing bingo, that's all family. That's your whole family. It's kids, it's friends. It's open to we call those membership opportunities. We want our nobles to bring friends and family, and to see what it is that we're doing, that we're not secret. We're open. We're out there. We're doing all this so that we can help the kids. So the whole point is so that we can help the children, and if we have fun doing that, then we have more members, and the more members we have, the more good we can do.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt you, but I heard something that kind of tweaked my little senses there. You were saying that anybody can come to our events. I mean, you don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to like be part of a secret handshake deal, or like have to. I mean, like, let's say I am not a Mason. I'm thinking about becoming a Mason, but I'm not a Mason. Are you saying I could show up with my wife, with my girlfriend, or by myself, or with my family or my kids, and be welcome to these events?
Absolutely, as long as it's the family events, absolutely.
Wow.
We want you here, no matter you don't have to be a Mason. That's a really good question, because a lot of people assume that it has to be that way. It's like, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're here for if we don't open our doors, it's really hard to grow. And by opening our doors, we do family friendly events. The Easter egg hunt is a really excellent example of what's going to go on. We'll have approximately 4,000 eggs we're going to put out on the front lawn. And,
that's right. That's right.
There's going to be age, and there's going to be a band. It's just a lot of fun, and it's for everybody. As a Shriner, I invite my kids, their friends, my grandchildren's friends, everybody, come on out and see what we do. This is how the Shrine gets the word out, is we want everybody here. We want you to see what we're doing. So hopefully
Okay.
that helps a little bit.
It does. Thank you. Thank you. And so where would somebody go to find these events? Like, can you go to, is there a website? Like,
Yes.
is it like Moslah? What's the,
Moslah
do you have a website?
Shrine.org, moslahshrine.org. It's
Okay.
got the upcoming events on there. And so you'll be able to, and we have a Moslah Facebook page, Moslah Shrine Facebook. So we've got that also. And you'll see, you're going to see some changes in 2026 coming to you. A lot more media and reaching out to inform the public of what's going on at the temple and what's available and going to be open to the public. I mean, last year we had a fantastic event called Festival of Trees at Christmas.
Oh yeah,
That's
that was
coming
awesome.
back this
That was
year.
really awesome. Yeah.
And it's just a good way for that, gets people into the Masonic temple. You get to go to the ballroom. You get to bid on trees with tons of presents. So those are things that I hope will change the way everybody's looking at us.
Awesome. And so some of these events, do they cost? I mean, are they expensive to attend, or are some of them free?
Some are just free. You just show up and enjoy. You just show up
wow.
and enjoy. Now there
Okay.
are events that are more geared to, say, a husband and wife,
Okay.
uh, or over the age of 21. So, but it's those are a couple of those. I think a good example of is our Sportsman Spectacular, and it's got an auction, and it's a great meal and a lot of fun. With several hundred people in there just having a great time. So that's an example of,
Yeah.
But the others, if it's family friendly, it's I would say that all the family friendly that I know that I can think of right now are free. When we're open to the public for families and everybody coming in, that's free, and we're always there, to answer questions and help you feel at home.
So that's kind of a pretty good proposition, I think. You can, if you're looking for some good, family fun, all I got to do is go on Facebook, add Moslah Shrine to my Facebook friends, and then I see an event, and I can bring my family and gain 1,003 brothers.
That's it
all
right
at
there.
once.
I think that is an excellent way to put it. That's it.
That's really
you
cool.
can grow that family so quick, the family tree will blossom. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about membership, and we've talked about what your job is and what you do, and how we kind of go through moving forward when it comes to membership, and what we talked about, our threats and everything. One thing that I usually see with new members when they come into the Shrine is when they come to you and they say, okay, now that I'm a Shriner and I've went through ceremonial, or I've went through, what I need to do to become a Shriner. And we talked about, that's not it. You got to go to a unit. You have to experience a unit. Is that something you can help with, as far as because if I'm a new member, I don't know who the units are. I don't know who those people, I don't know any of them. I mean, is there like a list somewhere that you can, give me phone numbers to contact somebody?
Absolutely. We have what's called a New Nobles Handbook that I can send you electronically, that gives the history of Moslah, the Shrine, the hospitals. It's got all the units. It's got all the contacts for leadership in the units. It's all right there. It's something that you can go to, and I make sure that everybody's, if you're coming through, we send it out before you're a noble. We want you to know what you're getting into. We let you look at it. We update this every year with the new leadership, and so the one for 2026 is coming out this week, as a matter of fact.
So no secrets, no secret handshakes, no none of that.
No,
Just
you
pure
just have
fun.
and you come to the office and ask questions, and we're going to do everything we can to get you the answers you need and
Okay.
make you feel at home. And we want to help you uh, get in touch with the units that you think are a good fit, and then a few that maybe you're unsure of. We're gonna help you with that introductions if necessary, whatever you need us to, and we'll get you their next meeting. We'll make the initial call for you. I mean, we'll do whatever it takes to get you to be to have fun with the shrine. That's what we really want.
All you have to do is just ask.
That's it.
Just
Just
ask.
ask.
Just ask. It's not a secret. Just ask.
Just ask. Good
Ask,
way to put it.
absolutely. And you brought up something that I picked up, but you were saying competition. So it's not. So if I join a unit, it doesn't matter which unit it is. It could be, let's say, for instance, the drift trikes that you were talking about. That sounds pretty cool. But there's a competition. They actually compete.
There's a state competition where there's 13 temples in the state of Texas,
Oh wow.
and once a
Okay.
year, it moves from temple to temple. But once a year, everybody comes together and competes. The units come together and compete. There's the Oriental bands. They compete. All the motorized units, from motorcycles to trikes, and they compete against the other temples that have like units, and they compete. And then there's a state champion crowned every year for each division or class, I guess is the way to
Wow.
put it. The bands also can compete, but it's really that's the units are the ones that have something that you can compete against with others.
So like whenever I guess you're competing for first place, second place, third place, and you're doing all that. Can I bring my wife and kids to that? Can they
Oh,
come and watch me?
absolutely. Even the general public can come and watch what's going
Wow.
on.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
everything it is a great time. That's when we talked. Right off the bat, I was telling them about going to the competition with my dad. That's where I saw what the fun Shriners have. I think is the competition stuff. That's a lot of fun, and that's where I was first exposed to it. Was watching them out there, and just a bunch of guys competing against each other just to try and win that state championship. Take home a three-peat and retire the flags. It's we're as proud as anybody when it comes to competition. So it's like,
Yeah. And I hear rumors about some kind of Christmas party. Is there a Christmas party with a surprise guest that comes by every year?
oh, absolutely. There's the Moslah family Christmas party. It's at the
Wow.
temple there,
Okay.
and yes, we do have that special guest that comes in, but that's also open to you can bring your family and friends of your family, because we want everybody to come and have a great time.
Wow.
And we're decorated. There's hot chocolate. It's just a lot of fun.
But as we close, do you have anything that you would like to finally say to our viewers? Anything that you
Well,
want to offer?
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity and the time to be first, and I'll look forward to everything from here on being much better. So you'll have some really interesting guests that'll come in and just wow these guys. But the one thing I'd like to leave everybody with is if you're interested, either contact the office, go to beashriner.com. If you have any questions, please call me. You can. I'm Michael Hanley, the business manager. Call the office. I'm always there, so just give me a call. But we want you. We want you to have fun. We want you to be part of our organization, our philanthropy, and you are welcome. So come on down.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much. And I hope our viewers learned a little bit about the business manager and how to, what the Shrine's about. And we hope to see you at a next event. Make sure you hit our like button if you like the content here. And please leave the information that you have. But other than that, thanks, Michael. And we will see you on the next one.
Thank you. Have a good
All
evening.
right.